a friend of mine, a kickboxer, started it and said, Andrew, you have to try this. It's changed my entire world, and it's the carnivore diet.
You're on this carnivore diet now. You have done this for how long now?
I've been on a pure carnivore diet for about 2 months and a very, very low carb, greens only, modified carnivore diet for about a year.
Is basically living on 85 to 90% of what you eat has to be meat, your calories per day.
Few carbs?
A little bit. You can like have a fry or fuck around with it, but in general, it's all meat. No rice, no pasta, no big plates of chips or any carbs like that, just meat. And you can eat as much meat as you want until you're full.
Dude, there's so many times I'm like, fuck, that looks so good. I wouldn't mind this diet, you know, and so.
So tell me about your energy level with this diet.
Yeah, so 2 things changed. One, the first thing that changed is I started losing body fat. And the reason I was losing body fat is when you eat only meat diet, the first few days you're quite hungry because you have like this carbohydrate hunger. Once you get past that and your body changes, there's a whole bunch of science behind it that's boring, but
ketosis.
Yeah, your body doesn't burn glucose anymore, it burns ketones.
Have you heard of the carnivore diet?
No.
No?
Meat, cheese, probably similar to the Atkins diet.
Sounds like a lot of meat. Sound good. Sounds good.
Steak for breakfast?
Yes.
Are you a big fan of fruits and vegetables?
I am.
Might not like this diet. It's basically eating only animals, no plants.
If you can hunt it, that's an animal food.
Exactly.
So I started losing body fat. Like I was always in good shape. I was always like Hercules, you know.
Right.
But now I started to really, like my six pack really came out. And I was like, this is crazy. And the reason is, when you're eating only meat, you don't actually need that much food.
In carnivore, it sounds ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But it makes me feel really good, even for performance.
Is Rogan has influenced you? Huh? He's in
No,
carnivore diet.
I was influenced actually by people. Yeah, well, I'll tell you where, because I was doing it before he was doing it. It was popular in the endurance athlete community, where it was fat adapted athletes. It was insane people who run 50 miles, 100 miles. They figured out that they could fuel their body with fat. They can go to fat as the source of energy as opposed to carbs.
So you're losing body fat because you're dieting without trying. So when I was eating normal food, I'd eat 3 or 4 times a day, sometimes, and snacks in between. When I'm eating only meat, I'll eat a big lunch of steak, a big dinner of steak, no breakfast, no snacks, and I am full. There's like no room for anything else. It's weird. So the first thing that happens is you eat a lot less, so you lose weight. And secondly is the way I feel is completely different.
I talked to a lot of people, and because they didn't know about it, they asked a lot of questions. They saw that I was in good shape. They knew that I was a doctor, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe ask questions. And I had a lot of people, convert over to it. Even doctors in my department, a few of them are now carnivore. They're all eating a lot more meat. Some of them have gone sort of keto, and others have actually gone full on carnivore.
You actually have more energy.
More energy. When you eat lots of food and you get that tired, lethargic, I want to lay down.
Because of the insulin.
That's all carbohydrates. That's all carbohydrates. And also, anyone here who suffers with depression, or anyone here who feels angry some days, or brain fog. Have you ever had those days where your brain feels like it's foggy, you're not thinking clearly, you're not sharp, That's all carbohydrates.
Along the way I found out about the carnivore diet. I cut out the vegetables. I didn't realize how terrible something like a salad was making me feel until I cut it out. And it really cleared up my digestion. I was losing weight before, but it wasn't until I cut those things out that the digestion felt better. My skin started clearing up. Things like the keto sweeteners and the keto treats, those things really caused me a lot of digestive issues and a lot of skin issues, and mentally just really increase the cravings and just kind of make me want the real stuff. So staying away from all of that has been really beneficial. So
when you remove carbohydrates, all of that goes away. I used to have really bad brain fog, and I know this because I play chess every day. I play 1 or 2 hours a day of chess.
Wow.
My father was a grandmaster. I play online, and some days I just wouldn't fucking see. I'd lose game, I'd just lose all day.
You couldn't focus.
I was trying to focus, but I just couldn't see clearly. I just couldn't see things. So
I eat a decent amount of red meat these days.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I found that it depends. Also, I found that when I combine it with certain things, I feel better. And when I combine it with the typical, let's go out and get a big steak with the carbs and all that, I feel horrible the next day.
Some days my brain just wasn't firing properly, but when I changed to this diet, it's completely different.
With less carbs?
With the less carbs you eat, the better. If you really want a piece of bread, have a piece of bread.
Sure.
But the idea is the less carbs, the better. And then what you do is you eat lots of fatty meat, because the fat in the meat has all the vitamins.
One of the misconceptions about red meat is it's all saturated fat. In fact, the main fat in beef is actually monounsaturated fat, which most people don't know. Saturated fat's a little bit less, like monounsaturated is like 48%, and saturated is like 6%, and then the polyunsaturated is a tiny amount. But saturated fat is interesting, like when you drink wine or alcohol, it actually protects the liver from ethanol-induced alcohol damage to the liver. So it's kind of interesting that, you know, if you have a glass of wine, have a steak with that to kind of mitigate that damage potentially, which I'm not advocating everybody go out drinking, but you know, it's one of those benefits.
So you can actually change to 100% meat. You don't need fruit, vegetables, bread. You can go completely meat. If you eat fatty meat, the fat's gonna have all the vitamins you need. So I eat lots of fatty meat, lots of fatty steak, a little bit of salad, and that's it.
So you eat enough, you know, it may be steak, it may be egg. You know, breakfast might look like a 12-ounce steak and, you know, 3 or 4 eggs or something like that potentially.
So eggs are part of carnivore.
Eggs can be. Now, some people will have a reaction to eggs, but most people do pretty good with that.
Did you eat all 12 eggs and the bacon and the steak?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I wouldn't order it all.
You're not a small guy, right?
Yeah, no, I'm like 240 right now, but yeah, that's and I had like 8-ounce hamburger patties earlier that day. So I had
28-ounce hamburger patties.
No, not 1/8 of an ounce. Sorry.
And it's changed my worldview, man. It's changed everything about it. I'm eating like basically once a day.
Finding a carnivore diet, I spent then the next year or so eating 1 meal a day and then incorporating longer fasts. For me, using something like a 48-hour fast was really beneficial.
First of all, I'll say that, yeah, I do think 1 meal a day is great. I like it. I think that it's very convenient for both time management side and convenience. It makes fat loss and weight loss also relatively easy. So when you look at this recent January 2022 study, differential effects of 1 meal per day in the evening on metabolic health and physical performance in individuals, and they did find that, compared to eating 3 meals a day, than the 1 meal a day did result in body weight and improved metabolic flexibility. It wasn't like significantly greater than the 3 meals a day, but it still, you know, has those health benefits that people are looking for when it comes to intermittent fasting.
So would you recommend this to somebody who wants to lose?
Everybody.
Really?
Everybody. Even if you don't want to lose weight, even if you just want to put muscle on, even if you just want to feel more energetic. Because what happens now, I'm at a point now, my body has shifted and changed. I genuinely eat once a day and I am not hungry. I'm not hungry. Once that change happens from glucose to ketones, you can have two steaks and you're fine 24 hours. It's weird.
That's so nice.
It's so weird. And another thing I've noticed is how much time it frees up, because I never cook at home ever.
Yeah?
So I used to go out, get some breakfast, go out, get some lunch. So now I notice during the day when you're not constantly eating all the time, how much more time you have. I know it sounds stupid, and I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I feel so much better, so much more energetic, stronger, everything. I look better.
Yeah, you feel better.
And I feel better, which is the most important thing.